Hi. How's it going, Amanda? Whoop. Might be having some technical difficulty on my end. I can't hear or see anything.
What about now? Sorry.
Okay.
I'm having some tech issues over here. Yeah. Wi-Fi.
Awesome. So yeah, you're coming in and out a bit, but I think it's settled now.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Let's see. All right, moving. You can see me moving. Yay.
Yes. Wonderful.
Okay. All right. So welcome to our viewers. If you drop in the comments where you're from, we'd love to learn where you're tuning in from. If you have classrooms with you, kids with you, students. Happy almost June as we move into the end of the school year. Valerie Jenkins says she's excited. Lisa. Amanda's frozen. Yes. Am I still frozen, Lisa Ann? Am I still having issues? Hello from Fatma. Let's see. All good. Yay. Okay. Hello, everyone, and good evening. Oh, good evening. It's good morning here. Where are you tuning in from? Leroy, Alexandria, Virginia. We've got Qatar. Amazing.
Pakistan. Awesome.
UK, Southern California. Oh, Heather Brown from which, you know, she's no stranger to Hitchhikers Teachergoals Tech Talks. Mm-hmm. We've got North Carolina, Portugal. Wow, awesome. So yeah, everyone, welcome. We're excited to talk Markertown and do a virtual reading and actually give away some prizes. We've got copies of Markertown today, which you can't see because I got my green screen going. But we've got 2 hardback copies of Markertown, licenses for novel effect. And also, if you're tuning in, if you post on social media, you have to share and tag someone. The post on Teachergoals website about Markertown, you can win a novel effect license, a signed copy of the book, and a virtual reading for your class.
Pretty exciting. That's a great assortment of prizes right there. So best of luck, everybody. Don't forget to share and tag us. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So many awesome viewers coming in here from all over the world. That's amazing.
Yeah, we've got India, Brazil, Bangladesh, Tunisia, Egypt, Ghana, Sri Lanka, UAE, amazing. Jordan, beautiful. All right, you ready to kick this off, Dani?
Yeah, let's do it. Awesome. So I can introduce myself real quick. I haven't been on one of your streams before, but hi, I'm Dani. I'm Novel Effects librarian and curator. If you're not familiar with Novel Effect, we are an app that utilizes voice recognition technology and pairs that with your favorite children's books. And when you read a book aloud using the app, it will follow along with music and sound effects handmade by our in-house team of composers and sound designers. So it's a lot of fun. And we recently just released a very exciting new release on the app, Markertown, by our own lovely Amanda Fox. And I'm just going to do a little author Q&A with Amanda today to ask her about the experience of both writing, Markertown and what it meant to her, and then also like what it was like having her book adapted into a soundscape. So I think this is going to be a really fun conversation, Amanda.
Awesome. All right. There's some questions at me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is, a classic of any author Q&A. What inspired you to write Markertown?
So as, the teachers who are watching or, back to school shopping, we get brand new packs of markers. And I have 4 kids and we buy a lot of packs of markers when it's back to school time. And the first thing my kids love to do is open those brand new shiny sealed boxes. So we get back from Target. We've got our bags. They're digging through. They get out the markers, and they're like, "Can we please have some drawing time?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." So they're in the basement. They're drawing, and I leave them alone, to put the markers for about 20 minutes. I come back down, and it's like marker mayhem. There's markers everywhere. They don't have their tops on, and they're just like distributed across the floor. And in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, these poor markers, they're dying. They're drying out. And and I wanted to like turn it into a book and have my kiddos take better care of their possessions, better care of the markers. So that's when I decided to write a marker's funeral. I mean, no, yeah, obviously a marker's funeral makes the title, but it ended up being Markertown, and it's a book that's all about the different, I guess, suburbs and art districts and different areas where markers live in Markertown. And the mission was to teach my kids to take care of markers and to put their caps back on them, cap it until you hear the click. And Markertown was it was inspired by them, just like most of my stories are inspiration from my kids.
That's so lovely and awesome. I didn't realize that it had inspiration on celebrating the passing of a marker. Although that kind of is definitely part of the plot. If you haven't read Markertown, we're going to read it in a little bit using Novel Effect. It's going to be amazing. But that's so funny. I didn't know that. I absolutely love the story. And you did mention, Markertown itself, the setting of the book and the title, very suburby in some ways. But I know that you took a lot of influence over your hometown. Can you tell us about, in Markertown, some of the things we'll see that are like reflections of where you live?
Absolutely. So one of the things, being the author and the illustrator, one of the things I kind of wanted to capture is, or pay homage to, is places I've lived. My hometown, Savannah, Georgia, and I'm in love with Georgia. I live in Kentucky right now, and if I could go back, I would in a heartbeat. And there's this art store, this used art store, called Starlandia. And there's an illustration of Starlandia in the book with two markers kind of strolling along. They're flare pens, actually. And the flare pen on the page is yellow and brown. And that is actually to Savannah Bananas, which is the baseball team that is local to Savannah. So, and Savannah also is a very big college town. Savannah College of Art and Design is based there. So I wanted to pay tribute to the school as well and capture that used art store, because I know a lot of students go there and turn in their supplies at the end of a semester, and other students go in and buy them. Am I still?
You disappeared briefly, but we're seeing a lovely backdrop of some of your Markertown characters. So, I'm
going, if you kind of wanted to talk a little bit about Novel Effect, I'm going to pop out and reset so we don't have internet issues.
Yeah, absolutely. I can definitely do that. I'll see you back in a minute, Amanda.
Sounds great.
Yeah. So, like I said earlier, I'm the librarian and curator for Novel Effect. We are an EdTech app that uses voice recognition to add a magical experience to children's books. We have a collection of about 1,000 popular and new and classic titles on our app. And when you read either an ebook or a hard copy with Novel Effect playing, it follows your voice, and the words you say trigger sound effects and voiceover and music, and all of that is lovingly handcrafted by our amazing team of sound designers and composers. And it's such a ball. It really creates a much more immersive experience. So it's fantastic for your more wiggly students and budding readers, and you're just going to have a fantastic time with it. It's really going to capture kids' imaginations and minds. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, please go ahead and add them to the chat and I'll try to answer them. But I did want to talk a little bit about some of the programs we have going on right now. We have a summer reading program for those of you who are about to get out of school and you have kiddos that, don't really have any ed stuff going on this summer. This is a great opportunity to prevent summer slide. We have a curated collection of books that I made myself to kind of engage your students and keep them on the right track. So when school's back in session in the autumn, at least in the United States, when we're back in session in the autumn, your kiddo will be, right back into step. Yeah. Oh, that's so wonderful, Heather. I love hearing that your 4-year-old loves it. Yes, we try to have content for kids, preschool all the way up to 5th grade. We also have on our website, if you go to noveleffect.com, we've got pre-made activity packets. These are handcrafted. They're huge. There's some of them 40, 50 pages of content, both like printable and no print, no prep activities that pair with different books and different topics. And those are made in-house by our team of educators. So former teachers who have classroom experience and who know what educators are looking for. And these are great for your school-age students, but we also have content for your kiddos at home who weren't quite in school yet, but there's a lot of fun stuff. Last summer, my niece used one of our summer reading packets. She was 5, about to go into kindergarten, and it was so amazing, like looking at the things that she was learning just through worksheets and activity sheets and like our no print games and that sort of thing. Where's Novel Effects headquartered? So we were originally headquartered in Seattle, but with COVID, we figured that we could, explore remote work a little bit more. And I myself live in South Dakota, and we have colleagues all over the country and sometimes all over the world. Depending on the time of year, some of my colleagues work from other places on the globe. But yeah, Heather mentioned Mix It Up. Mix It Up's a wonderful book that we did. We actually used a cappella voice artist who also does some beatboxing to compose that. So there are no instruments in there. It's just one person's voice, and it sounds so amazing. It's so cool. I highly recommend it. All of our soundscapes are super diverse. You're not going to ever read 2 back-to-back that sound like each other. Every single one is handcrafted lovingly, particularly the books that reflect certain heritage and backgrounds and life experiences. We are absolutely dedicated to working with artists that reflect that heritage. One of my favorite books that we did recently was Fry Bread. And if you're unfamiliar with that, it is a story that talks about Native American heritage here in the United States and links it to fry bread, which is a food that many different tribal groups have incorporated as part of their cuisine. And we worked with a couple of different tribes throughout the United States, getting vocals and music and that sort of thing. So it's something we're really, really dedicated to. We want to make sure these books reflect the experiences of the kids that are listening to them and are authentic and very relatable. So it's something that just when I was interviewing with the company made me so excited to join Novel Effect, that dedication. But yeah, you should definitely check out our website if you're an educator and looking for activities or tips or resources. We've got a ton, and we often pair up with Teachergoals for some of those. Hi, Amanda. Oh my gosh, you're back.
Yay.
You're here.
Yeah, I did a hard restart. Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem.
Oh, I see you're talking about fry bread.
Yes. One of my favorites.
Where is Novel Effects headquartered? Everywhere.
Yep.
Yep. The team is spread out everywhere. You are in.
I'm in South Dakota.
We've got South Dakota. We've got New York. Yep. The team is pretty remote, which is a beautiful thing about today's work environment, is that you can really do anything and accomplish anything from anywhere.
Yes, one of the best parts about the technology we have these days. I mean, you and I are states away from each other, and we're able to have this conversation. I think it's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oop. I'm going to pop that down. Not ready to share it yet. So sorry about the tech issues. So going back to the Q&A, we kind of talked a little bit about Markertown and the inspirations for it. Louisville is the other city that I'm in now. And my kids and I, there's the big 4 bridges, and there's a walking bridge. And one of our favorite things to do when it's warm is to ride our bikes across the bridge. So in the book, you'll also see a tribute to Louisville, and the walking bridge is all lit up and on one of the pages as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's one of my favorite pages. I really like the bridge and that. We have some lovely bridges around here, and it kind of reminded me of some that I walk on a lot. I'm not a biker, but that's awesome.
Well, I walk
bike. Yeah, whatever it takes to get out there, be active, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I wanted to ask a little bit about the process of getting your story adapted into a soundscape. So we had a lot of meetings ahead of the adaptation, and you met with our team of soundscape composers and sound designers. Can you tell me a little bit what that's like? Because I've always been on one side of the window, and you're on this other one. So please tell me, what was the process like for you?
So when you take a story and you get it developed into a soundscape, the first part is like listening to the words, if that makes for the viewers, if that makes sense. So I created a table of each line in the book, and I listened to the word. Like I guess I kind of like looked at the lines and found the sounds in the words. So if the markers are cheering, or the sound of markers going home, kind of the obvious, the picture, and once I did that with the words, I went back and scanned the illustrations, and I tried to find sounds that would be present in the illustration. So the page with a dog barking, or the carnival page, like when the markers are walking along the whiteboard, and it's a carnival, it's a park, there's a Ferris wheel, there's popcorn. So just the ambient sounds there. And then also for, I guess, the overall tone, the main music that you're going to hear in the background. Savannah and Louisville are big jazz towns, and jazz is kind of like rooted in their history and their culture. So I wanted to fold that into the soundscape as well. And I think the soundscape artist did such an amazing job at folding in all of these requests. The next part was meeting with the team and talking to them about like my desires, what I wanted to see reflected in the soundscapes, and they incorporated all of that into it. I think we lost you.
Oh,
let's see. So from there, we're just having all kinds of tech issues today, guys. Sorry about that. From there, I gave everything to them. I kind of talked through what Markertown meant to me, the inspiration for it, the story that I'm sharing with you, and from there.
Oh no, Amanda dropped out. Gosh. It's a Wednesday, right, guys? Just tech issues left, right, and center. I'm so sorry. We'll get Amanda back in a minute for sure. I'll continue talking a little bit about soundscape development. We absolutely love working with authors and illustrators. It's such a treat for us, and absolutely a joy. And Amanda did a ton of the groundwork that our composers do. Like she was talking, going through page by page, identifying where different sounds are. Like those are things that our composers do anyways for every single book, regardless of whether or not we're working with the author. So it's amazing that Amanda had that instinct and kind of took that element out for us and had it already ready. But another part is if we're going to be doing a voiceover, we absolutely love to get the author in. Hi, Amanda, you're back.
Hi.
I'm so sorry. Tech is awful today.
It is. So it is not my computer. It is the internet. So I am having internet connection issues. My apologies. And normally I don't have issues at 11:30 in the afternoon. So where did I cut out?
Gosh, let me think. We were talking about you meeting with the soundscape designers and like telling them like the influences, like the jazz and that sort of thing, that you kind of asked them to infuse into the story.
Okay, so after I went through, I scanned the words, I scanned the illustrations for sounds. I I looked up musical instruments that made different noises, like a glockenspiel, and for like the glitter, and I kind of threw that in there, and then I just turned it over to the soundscape designers and trusted that they would bring Markertown to life in a way that was exciting and added a layer of magic to the story.
Yes, you already created the magic with the book, and we, just helped expand upon that and supplement what you already made. My colleague Maria was the designer for this book, and I think she did a fantastic job. She was very excited. I was talking when you were off a little bit that we got VO. For voiceover, sorry, VO is what we say it around the office, but we got voiceover from you and some of your family members. What was that like when you've read the book with the soundscape to hear those familiar voices of your kiddos?
Oh, it was amazing. So my kids they weren't necessarily excited to do it because they didn't understand what they were doing. My kids are 6, 8, 10, and 14. The 14-year-old didn't want any part of it, of course. She's too cool and teenagery.
Naturally.
But yeah, and then Finn, my 6-year-old, he was great. Like, they came in, I recorded with my phone, just little lines, and they were folded in, and I had to bribe them to get them to do it, to get them to complete it. But once it was done and the soundscape came back and they listened, I was like, "All right, guys, listen for your parts." And they were super excited to be part of it and to be kind of like integrated into the soundscape itself, and appropriately so, because they were the inspiration for the story. So
Yeah, that's the best part is, they were there at the birth of Markertown and able to be a part of this next step for it, which is so exciting. I actually wrote some of those voiceover lines. That's one thing I do. Just kind of an extra little fun part of my job. I take the book that authors, have lovingly created, and then I think of in between, the actual lines that you've written, Amanda. I think of like, what are some things that a character could say to add even more to this, to make it funny, to make it even brighter. And so it's really cool for me to hear people bring those words to life and just add even more to the story you've created. But yeah, I just have one or two more questions for you before we get on to our read aloud. Who is your favorite marker in the story? I'm a big fan of the Sharpie. He's my favorite, but what about you?
So obviously not so sharp. If I were to quickly throw a marker out, it would definitely be not so sharp. And you guys are going to find out because you're going to hear the story. But going deeper, like if you think about characterization and the markers collectively, they all represent struggles and strife that we've been through. And if we look deeper at the markers, I think Miss Cherry is probably my favorite, because you've got the scented marker and she's lost her smell. She doesn't smell like cherry anymore. She's just a red marker. So her secondary function is kind of stripped from her, but she has this beautiful like outlook on life. She's the person that welcomes all the motley markers to Motley Cove, and she's the greeter, and she's got this evanescent personality, this bubbly personality, despite like having to pivot and not having, not smelling like cherry anymore. And we all love our scented markers. So
yes, yeah, I mean, scented markers are my favorites for sure. It's kind of a fun, like box of chocolates in Forrest Gump terms as to how close they actually smell to the thing they're supposed to smell like. But I really enjoy them myself. Yeah,
fun
I really
fact,
love. Yes.
there's a whole page dedicated to scented markers in the original copy of the book, and it got cut.
Oh no.
It was one of my favorite pages, and it got cut. We had to cut it. So maybe I'll share that on social media, like the scented marker page.
You absolutely should. Oh my gosh, I would love to see it. That sounds like a really fun page. I can't even imagine like what it looks like. That's awesome. Well, I had just had one more question before we go into our read aloud of Markertown. This book is, if you haven't read it, you're in for such a treat because it is chock full of so many amazing like jumping off points to use in the classroom. You know, you've got everything from you know, VR, or is it AR? I always get them mixed up.
Yeah, augmented reality.
Augmented reality. You've got some really great like jumping off points for like various STEM challenges. You know, you've got art history in here. Like there's just so much, Amanda. Like it is amazing. One of my favorite things that you included was this little like hack for your markers that might be a little on the dry side, using them as an opportunity to create art with those spray bottles, which you can actually see right behind you there. Right there. Yeah.
And that's really my favorite page. I had so much fun drawing and illustrating this page right here. The process, I actually sprayed paint on a canvas, took a picture and folded it in digitally into my design and then added on top of it. So, but yeah.
That's awesome. You were like, first off, you are just amazing for not only writing the book, but illustrating it. Like that's such a skill. You know, most people don't have the ability to do both. So I'm just like in awe of that. But you really, this book was such a, you know, clearly made with a lot of thought and care, which I'd say most children's books are, but this one you really took in consideration like what people needed in the classroom. And I think that's amazing about this book. What was something that you ended up adding or ended up kind of coming forward that you didn't necessarily expect in writing the story, that, you know, now in retrospect, it's like, wow, that's an awesome fit?
Oh, that's a hard,
sorry, that's a hard one.
A hard question at me. So I guess with the augmented reality content, we partnered with Vision, which is a company based out of New Zealand, and they do AR coloring pages. And I knew I wanted augmented reality in the book. And initially, my idea was to have every page come to life and it be animated. Adding the AR in the way through Vision, allowing kids, inviting them in to color in the book. There's so many times in my childhood I was told, don't write in your books. And kids do it anyway. So I wanted to remove that barrier, and Vision kind of, with the coloring pages, gave kids permission to, you know, make it their own. And I call them like AR artists, like artists. So they get to come in, they get to color the parts that are, you know, coloring pages and scan them and bring them to life. And when I designed this book, I wanted, from a teacher's perspective, I wanted it to be a complete STEM lesson. So sometimes it's really hard for teachers to learn how to take a book and connect it to all the different content areas. So as the pages were being designed, I tried to ensure that there were learning opportunities and stations could be created for teachers to make Markertown accessible to students. The coloring pages, making them want to come back to it and experience literacy in a new way with all the other content areas integrated into the story.
Yeah, and you definitely succeeded. Like this is, you know, this is such an amazing book that really gives teachers so much to work off of and so many jumping off points. And I love that about Markertown. It's fantastic. And you also, because, you know, a teacher might not necessarily be able to get copies of the book for every kid, you also have like created activity packets and that sort of thing. So like every kid has the opportunity to draw on a page, even if it's not the actual page. I think that's so cool. You're able to still give them that opportunity. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is the first page. I was gonna, well, I'll wait, but like, yeah, the coloring pages, you can get the digital downloads for them, and you know, kids can color them as many times as they want, and you can get them from teachergoals.com. If you go and you become a member of the Markertown area, all of the digital assets, the station cards, the STEM design challenges, and the coloring pages are available for download.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. You've given educators so much. That's so cool. Well, do you want to go ahead and read aloud Markertown for us? I think we're all chomping at the bit now.
So this is obviously a first day of school pack of markers. Mm-hmm. Dani, do you know how I know this?
Because their caps are all on.
They're all on and they all match. They're matchy markers. So I wanted, and as you see at the end, it's not going to be quite pretty and put together like this. So this is one of the coloring pages that you can, that kids can experience. It's what we call the title page, but the hype page. And it plays Not So Sharp pops up. He talks to the kids. And there's a hype video that kind of talks about the design challenge of students designing their own marker. All right. So I'm going to queue up our handy dandy novel effect app here. And I just want to make sure you can hear it. Did you hear it?
I heard the startup chime. Yeah.
That's the startup chime. Awesome. All right, here we go. By the time all the drawing was done for the day, the markers were awed at the art on display. Unicorns, dinosaurs, faraway lands, all made with help from the smallest of hands.
I love that unicorn pooping.
Funny story, that unicorn is pooping, and I didn't realize it. Bridget, my daughter, drew a pooping unicorn, and when this book came out, she's like, "Mom, you have poop in your book." And I was like, "Oh!" They gathered their caps from amongst odds and ends, and they headed to Markertown, grouped with their friends.
I wonder what's in that painting.
The classics all carpooled to colorful court.
Oh, hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark. Ha ha. I love that. The flare pins went off to their artsy resort.
Starlandia. Creativity has no cap.
Has no cap. And this is the Savannah page. This is a real store. You can look it up. You can go there. So if you're in Savannah, swing by. Say hi to Clinton. The dry erase markers explored Whiteboard Park for Friday night fun and some rides before dark.
I love the fair.
And that Ferris wheel page comes to life, and kids can actually learn all about the history of the Ferris wheel.
That's so cool.
As 2 glitter markers went back to their pack, the pink glitter pen told the gold to turn back. You don't have a cap now. You must stay behind. You're damaged and useless, no longer our kind. In no time at all, you'll lose that red shade. Then just like your ink, your value will fade. Yeah, pink's not so nice. Glitter stood for a minute, not sure what to say, as Pink carried on, hurling insults her way. Move along, measly marker, you capless, crass crude. Though the ink was so shiny, the words were so rude. Prismatic and sparkling, the lines shined with pink, but the shrill of her words made the ugliest ink.
Move along, measly marker, you capless, crass crew.
Pink just keeps going.
So
Lacking her cap, she would never be first. She'd watch from the art bin. She thought of the worst. This is the point where I ask kids, what is the worst thing that could happen to a marker? She'd share the same fate as the pens without lids, idle and sad, never picked up by kids. The shiny sealed boxes, pristine and complete, were the first to get inked on each colorless sheet. So we got our brand new pack of markers here, and you know it, those kids go for the brand new pack. They're not going to go to the motley bin of markers that are just all
and the mismatched caps. Oh, that's beautiful.
The sunlit horizon, a colorful sight, began to turn hazy and fade into night. And if you look really, really close on that bridge, you can see my kids riding their bikes.
Oh, that's so cool.
She searched through the trash and she peeked under tables, but only found gum and electrical cables.
Ew, gum! So many germs!
She looked inside cubbies and up on the desk. She tried to remember. She retraced her steps. She sat in a corner and started to mope. If I can't find my cap, Glitter said, there's no hope.
Have you seen this missing top? Call Glitter at 273-UD.
Yep, call Glitter. She even made a missing sign. And that's my daughter Bridget on my desk at school.
Oh,
Right
that's
she's
awesome.
making a cake. Orphaned and sad, she remained all alone, uncertain of where or of whom to call home. An orange cap marker was walking on by. She saw Glitter's nib and she squiggled out, "Hi." Then Glitter looked up in surprise at the hue. "Wait a minute," said Glitter. "Your ink is all blue." "That's true," said the marker. "I'm all mixed about." "But you still have your cap," Glitter said with a pout. "There's no need to feel blue. I have friends you should meet. Though they're not all together, they're no less complete. You still have a purpose. There's lots you can do." So Glitter went off with Miss Orange on blue. They doodled along, drawing stars in the sky, and for a short time she forgot she might dry. Glitter had always felt brilliant and bright, but together their work took their hues to new heights. As she and her friend colored line after line, she noticed her sparkle. "Your ink makes mine shine." "That's what good friends do," said Miss Orange on blue. I think you'll fit in with my motley crew too. Mrs. Cherry, this is my little scented marker that views the world through rose-colored glasses. When they got to the bin with the odd mismatched crew, she met markers that shine past the ink that they drew. "Welcome to Castaway Cove," Cherry said. Though she'd lost all her scent, she was cheerful and red. Off in the corner, but not very far, there were markers submerged in 4 colorful jars. Though their tips were uncapped, they were happy and gay. "We've been upcycled into paint you can spray."
I love this page.
"You don't need a cap. There's much more you can do," some markers yelled down from a 3 and a 2. "We've got plenty of life left. We're still in our prime. As the hands of a clock, we can help kids tell time." And this page, when it comes to life, it teaches kids about analog and digital time telling. So there's an interactive game. They can move the hands on the clock, and it matches the analog matches the digital clock. So,
oh, wow. That's awesome.
"Some call me flawed, but I say improved. I used to draw 1 line, but now I draw 2. No marker sat jobless. They each had a role. Glitter felt hopeful, despite not being whole. Oh, we lost the soundscape.
Uh-oh.
That's all right. An elderly marker watched Glitter and blue. Let's see. An elderly marker watched Glitter and blue. As he slowly approached them, his ink barely drew.
"Without a cap, you'll soon dry out,"
said the sage. Then he offered her his.
"Here, I've drawn my last page."
So, not so sharp. He's, what's more terrifying than a child with an uncapped Sharpie? I don't know. But here, not so sharp. He's got his cap still, but his inks ran out. He's been overused. So he does the generous, kind thing and offers his cap to Glitter. Glitter reached out to him. What could she say? "I couldn't accept it. Is there no other way?"
"My lines were once sharp. Through the years, they've grown dimmer. It would give me great joy to preserve your gold shimmer."
So sometimes the best thing we can do is help preserve other people's goodness, their kindness, and their shine. "How can I thank you?" asked Glitter enchanted. "This cap is a gift that I won't take for granted. You are all so special, and you've taught me to see that there's value in everyone, even in me. I thought I'd lost purpose and a place to belong, but as it turns out, it was here all along.
Welcome.
Those are my kids' voices. Oh,
That's so sweet.
And then one of the big things I wanted to drive home is the environmental undertone or message to recycle and to take care of your markers. But like at the end of the day, when they are dried out, you can upcycle them into fun projects. You can make puppets out of their caps. I've seen jump ropes done. Savannah, my hometown, there's a high school there that does a junk to funk fashion show. And I've seen outfits made of markers. It's crazy.
That sounds awesome. Oh my gosh.
And if your school has not started a Crayola color cycle program, they can join that, and students can donate their markers and have them recycled and given new life. And then this is the Create Your Flag page. This page it comes to life, and I typically ask students to design a flag that represents the theme of the book to bring in their knowledge of literature, themes, tones, and symbolism. So they get to research other flags. And as you see, there's other flags down at the bottom, and you can go through and click on them and listen to the national anthems for each of these countries.
Wow.
And we've got discussion questions, vocabulary words. We've got some art by some wonderful kids that wanted to have their art featured in the book. And finally, it's our last day of school marker page. They're a little mixed up, but again, no less complete.
And they're still smiling. They're still so happy.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Amanda, that was so amazing. Thank you so much for sharing and dealing with the technical difficulties. I don't know if folks noticed, but Novel Effect went out at one moment. Don't know why, but it just went out, and Amanda restarted it, and because it's voice recognition, it picked right back up where you were. But yeah, I loved hearing your kids' voices. That was so cool. Oh my gosh.
It was pretty awesome. And a little teaser. Markertown 2 is in illustrations now, and it's the marker. It's the first day of school, so it's not about the kids; it's about the supplies, and they have the first day of school jitters. And I'm just going to kind of scroll through some of the illustrations here. Here's the number 2 pencils, and then we've got these markers, and they're all like sharing their fears of what might happen on the first day of school. We've got the number 2 pencil. He's shaving his lead, getting ready for the first day.
Getting a haircut.
We've got the glue sticks and the glue and Sticky Town. So this is Pencil Town. In Markertown, a couple shelves over is Pencil Town and Sticky Town. Then we have the scissors, who's pretty sharp, gotta admit. This book is loaded with puns. And then this is Finn. He's the pencil here is just so terrified that on the first day his lead might break, and it does. So one of the things I wanted to happen in this story is all of their fears manifest and they come true, but they persevere, they make it through, and they survive it. And here, under the pressure of performance, the performance pressure that we know our students suffer from, the pencil's lead breaks. He breaks under the pressure. But fortunately, a pencil sharpener swoops in and gets him all tidied up and ready to go again and give it another try.
What a great lesson for our kiddos. I love that, not showing them that, your fears are just imaginary, far off things, but stuff that can happen. And even if they do happen, you can pick yourself back up again, sometimes with the help of some friends. This looks so amazing. I do have a question. Did I see Baby Yoda in a couple of those illustrations?
I don't think Baby Yoda's in any of them.
Okay. I saw the kid right back there.
Okay, so in the classroom, yes. And I'm very busy, so I actually outsource the illustrations. Kevin Freer is amazing. He's a sequential artist that went to Savannah College of Art and Design, and he's like a really good friend of mine from back when I was a child. Like when I say child, like 19, 20, like we met in our 20s, and his artwork can be seen like in a bunch of comic books. So I approached him, and these are the raw illustrations. These are not final. These are just the sketches of kind of the direction of where it's going. I know we talked about changing the boy in this photo to reflect more my 6-year-old, because as you notice, Finn is on this page. He's writing his name. Inn. He's trying to write his name. And that's when the pencil breaks, and just under performance pressure. And then the blue is afraid it's going to come out a blob, and it does, and it's okay. And the green marker, he's homesick. He misses his box, but he perseveres. The red colors outside of the lines, but it's still a work of art. And then the gray marker is upset because he's afraid he won't get picked, because no one's going to pick me. I'm not a color. You guys have it made. I'm not a color. I'm merely a shade. And this kid makes this beautiful drawing of a sky with a rainbow. He used every color except gray. And then he realizes, wait, like you can't have, a sky without a rain cloud. So in the end, these are going to be like little gray clouds. So the storm that he's feeling inside comes out on the page, and the drawing and him kind of feel complete in the end. And that's kind of the story there for Markertown 2. Oh, where's the tape? The tape's like afraid that, he's not going to adhere to that brick wall. And as a teacher, we all know tape does not work on cylinder or brick. So he's like, oh no, what if he's coming unglued the night before. He's worried that his tape won't stick that he wanted here. And in the end, he holds up this painting or this drawing very nicely of red coloring outside the lines. So stay tuned for Markertown 2. Hoping to have it out around the first day of school. There will be some augmented reality content in this book as well. So
that's awesome. Where can we get our hands on a copy once it's ready for publication?
You'll be able to find it on Amazon. And if you want to stay in the loop, you can go to teachergoals.com. And I'm looking for beta readers. And I think it's giveaway time.
I think it is giveaway time.
And I know I got a message from Elena, who is our wonderful COO, who is watching behind the scenes and posting on behalf of Teachergoals. So live winners today, if you're watching, you need to email contact@teachergoals.com. And I'm going to put that in the banner here. Let's see. So contact@teachergoals.com. And let's see, what should we have our participants or our viewers do to win a book? I did not think that far ahead. So you win a signed, for our live viewers, you win a signed copy of Markertown, a hardback copy, and a license to Novel Effect. So I think let's ask our viewers, tell me what is your favorite type of marker? So there's Sharpies, there's highlighters. Oh, there was a highlighter page in my book too that got cut.
Oh yeah. Man.
So the highlighters, they were actually summarizing the events from the day at Neon. They were at Neon Bay, summarizing the events from the day. And I used pink, orange, and yellow. And the idea was to create a lesson where students would then use those colors to highlight and summarize text or articles. But yeah, I will share some of these cut pages from behind the scenes on Twitter.
Yeah, maybe those are the makings of Markertown 3 or Markertown 4.
Markertown 3 is an ideation. So it is the markers. The markers get. It's a working title. It's all about self-care and they're kind of like in therapy, like they're talking and about their feelings, and it's very SEL centered, and they use ink blots. Oh,
that's so cool.
Yeah,
the Rorschach test. That's awesome.
The Sharpie is struggling with the idea of of not being immortal. Like Sharpies are permanent, his impermanence in the world. Yeah, all of the markers have their own existential crisis in the book, and then in the end, students should kind of see themselves, or in the issues, and come away from the story with solutions and coping mechanisms. So,
yeah, more tools in their tool belt for handling those kind of challenges that we come across in life. Vanessa says Sharpies are her fave. I agree, Vanessa. Nothing like that black ink.
Oh, Sherry, my favorite is glow-in-the-dark markers. I love glow-in-the-dark markers. Sharpies, I don't even know. What are mild liners? Do you know what mild liners are?
That sounds really familiar, but I can't remember exactly. I'll share my favorite marker. Not that I'm in the contest, but I love Posca markers because they are paint pens, but they're still markers. Lots of fun.
My favorite brand is Artesia.
They're great. I love their stuff.
Gosh. And I've got like a big pack of dry erase markers, that are Artesia, but I also love their paint pens, or their paint brushes, the watercolor pens that they have.
Yeah.
And that is the marker who, instead of drawing one line, draws two, because I really overwork my paintbrush markers.
You're very enthusiastic in using them. That's cool. They get a whole new use.
A little too much pressure on the paper. Yeah. All right. So our winners today, we're going to go with Valerie and Vanessa. And you know what? I'm feeling generous. Sherry too. So we're going to go with three books. So again, if you email contact@teachergoals.com, give us your address so I can, sign and send, and tell me who you want me to make the book out to, whether it's a classroom, one of your children, or, even yourself. So
congratulations.
Oh, awesome. And if you did not win, you still have time to win a really cool package, because I will video with your class and do a virtual read aloud and Q&A. You get a copy of the book and a license for Novel Effect. All you have to do is take a picture from today's session, make a tweet about Markertown, share it, and tag a friend. And then make sure you tag at Teachergoals as well, and you can win all three of those things as well. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you for dealing with the tech issues. We appreciate you, and it was fun sharing the inspiration behind the story, and the subsequent book that's coming.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, Amanda. It's been amazing.
Thank you, Dani. Can't wait to see you at ISTE. Also, if you are going to ISTE in Philadelphia, you can find Novel Effect there, and I'm certain I will be dropping by to do a live read aloud from the booth as well, and they'll have copies of Markertown to give away as well.
Yes, so please stop by. We would love to see you, and hopefully you'll stop by when Amanda's there. She's always a delight to chat with and see in person.
Oh, you are too. All right. Happy Wednesday. And I hope you enjoyed the story. Bye.